Hello, welcome to Naturally You. I'm Ashley Pappas, a personal trainer turned transformation coach who got sick of trying to fit into society's boxes. I'm here for my weekly 40 to 40 check in, and I've been consistent with everything. My eating has been on point. I have been making sure that I am actually eating enough, and last week I busted through the 200-pound mark and I weighed in at 198. This week there was a little bit of a backslide. I don't know if maybe I'm retaining a little water, um, if my intestines are full. I'm going to say that a little bit more PC than the other way. Essentially, maybe I just need to poop. Um, but I bounced up and I'm at 199. So I'm excited that I did not go back over the 200-pound mark. But one thing that I wanted to talk about today is that stress affects our body's ability to lose weight. Like, it directly affects our ability to burn fat and let go of that. And part of that is because it puts our body into that flight or fight mode. We think we're being attacked and we need to preserve energy. And so our bodies start running more efficiently. Like, let's see how much mileage we can get out of this fuel, which is great if we're living in prehistoric times and running from bears and whatnot and maybe going through famine. But in 2021, when you're trying to lose body fat, it's not the greatest thing. So, with the divorce and everything else going on, obviously there's a lot of stress coming into my life. And, there's the stress that we can avoid, the stress that we bring on into ourselves. And then there's the stress that we really can't avoid. The stuff that, the life situations, like what I'm going through right now. But what we have the power to do is change and adapt how we handle that stress. And I've been doing that to the best of my ability. It's been coming left and right lately. And so it has been more difficult. But I'm making sure that I'm meditating. I'm making sure that I am taking time for myself, even when I feel like I need to do a million things, and just taking, those few minutes is going to throw me even further behind. Because, like, in the moment, I feel like I just need to keep going, going, going. But I know that that's not true. That taking that step back and being able to move forward from a place of being grounded and centered and well cared for is really important. And so I'm doing what I can right now, and I'm completely aware that it's going to probably slow my progress a little bit. I'm hoping to still hit the 40 by 40, but if it takes a little bit longer, that's okay. Because the important thing is to keep the consistent progress and to adapt. And while my initial goal is very ambitious, it's a big goal, because a safe rule of thumb, unless you're medically supervised, is to lose between 1 to 2 pounds a week. And in my experience, that's always been what's most sustainable in the long run. And so I set my goal at that 2 pound a week mark. It's a very aggressive goal, especially if you want it to be sustainable. If you're going and you're doing some kind of crazy crash diet, or exercising for like 6 hours a day, it might be feasible, but the damage that you do to your body and the rebound effect that comes afterwards is absolutely so not worth it. And so I want this to last as long as I go into my 40s with less than what I came into 2021 with. I'm going to be a happy camper. And I know that as long as I continue doing this stuff, I am going to get there, because my goal is a bit over 40 pounds. And so I was planning to continue this afterwards anyways. And I'm still very hopeful that I can hit the 40 to 40. But I want to let you know that as you can, as I'm experiencing, that life happens, that we have crap that's thrown our way. And that doesn't mean that you give up on your goals. That doesn't mean that you say that I don't want this anymore. It means that you say, okay, this might not look the way that I wanted it. I might need to adjust the sails. I might need to put maybe a little bit more focus in the making sure that I'm staying put together, making sure that I'm allowing myself to fall apart when I need to. And just being okay with being okay. But still continuing to make that steady progress, still continuing to move forward and not get discouraged. Because, Ashley, 20 years ago, I would probably look at this and be like, okay, I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm eating the way I should. And now my progress is going backwards. Forget this, I'm done. But the thing is that there are so many other variables that fall into place. And so I know that right now is an extra stressful time in my life. Like, this is a big life event that I'm going through. And you go through big life events too. It doesn't mean that you just throw up your hands in the air and say that, okay, I'm going through this, and so I'm going to shoot myself in the foot in every other sense of my life. It means that you're still worth it. It means that you still deserve to achieve all of those cool goals. It still means that you deserve to have the life that you really want for yourself. It just means that it might look a little differently, that the journey might have a few extra twists and turns, that it might take just a little bit longer. And it also might mean that if you continue on, if you stay consistent, even though it might not look like you're on track to where you want to be, even though it might look that you're getting off course, you might find that you're very pleasantly surprised because things do level out. Things do come into balance just naturally, regardless of whether or not it's losing weight, whether or not it's changing careers, whether or not it's just having less stress in your life and having a little more structure. If you keep doing those things on a consistent basis that you need to do to get there, even during times where there are big changes, even during times where it looks like things are going the opposite direction than what you want, if you continue on with that, I promise you, you're going to get there, and you might end up there sooner than you think. So I'm excited to be checking in today, and even though the progress between last week and this week numerically isn't the direction I wanted to go, in terms of the behaviors, in terms of the habits that I've been instilling in my daily life, in terms of not eating sweets or pastries or baked goods and things like that, the things that I know that as somebody with a very addictive personality that are kind of dangerous for me, just period. Not health related, but just, or not weight related, but just health related. Like, I go to excess very easily. And when it comes to like candy and sweets and stuff, that's one of my like Achilles heels. So it's easier for me to avoid altogether. I don't recommend that for everybody. A lot of people are able to just, tone it down and moderate. Me, not so much. It's a blessing and it's a curse. But I've been able to stick to those things. I've been able to continue to do the footwork. And that's cool. That is, I will take that over going down on the scale any day of the week, because I know that in the long run, I know that when I hit my 40th birthday, it is going to reflect in the way that my body looks. It's going to reflect in the way that I feel. It's going to affect in the way I'm able to move my body. And when it comes down to it, like, who flippin' cares about the number on the scale? It's about how you feel. It's about the way you feel in your clothes. It's about how you feel about yourself. It's about being comfortable in your own skin. And yeah, the numbers on the scale will move just as a byproduct, but it's just a method of measurement. It's not anything, it's not something worth letting yourself get all wrapped up and twisted over. So even though numerically on the scale, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not ambiguous, but those numbers, they're just numbers. You keep doing the work, it'll keep progressing. And so, even though at first glance this week doesn't look like a win, I think that this week was probably the most profound week so far of the 40 to 40 challenge. And if you're joining along, if you've got your own 40 to 40 challenge of your own, I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Shoot me an email. Send me a carrier pigeon. Wave your arms up and say, like, hey, I'm doing this with you. Because there's power in numbers, right? So if there's something that you want to go for, let's do it. And if you want updates, go to 40to40challenge.com and just drop in your email address, and I will send you updates. And I've got a couple cool things coming up. Planned on having them by now, but life happened. They are coming in the next couple of weeks. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you enjoy this video and want to catch me in the future. I'm so glad that you joined me here today, and I will see you next week. Until then, don't be afraid to be naturally you, and I love you all. Bye-bye.